Have you ever wanted to create privacy in your yard where you can welcome people when you want to and stay private whenever the heck you want to? Today, I'm going to share with you two different vines. They're climbing vines. This is going to give me a pocket of privacy all year long, actually, and that's probably what's most exciting. Low maintenance, not so much headache, and I want to share with you some differences about vines. And I will caution you about some vines that are a little bit more invasive. These are not the ones I'm going to share with you. One's more of a diva, and the other one is just all around, I would say, perfect. But maybe that's kind of a tall claim. I bought this vine 2 years ago because a friend recommended it to me, and she was making a big hype about it, and I didn't understand until now. That was a $5 little starter that grew to this beautiful, beautiful vine with these beautiful red flowers. The name of this beauty is coral honeysuckle. And I need you to know that sometimes it's referred to as trumpet honeysuckle, but please, please, please do not confuse this with trumpet vine. Trumpet vine is very aggressive and invasive, and coral honeysuckle is not. The shape of the flower really attracts hummingbirds, and I love that because this becomes a sanctuary for them. This is a plant that you can grow in zones 4 to 9, and in a lot of areas, it is a semi-evergreen. Now, I want you to look at this because this is trumpet vine. This is not what I'm talking about. The scientific name for trumpet vine is campsis radicans. That one is aggressive and potentially invasive, and probably not as fun to have in your yard. So because there are different common names and that can get confusing, when you go to the nursery, make sure you ask for Lanicera sempervirens. I bought two more of those plants because I'm so excited to fill up this really weird area of my fence. It's kind of a long story why this fence is like that, but I'm excited that it's going to fill it up pretty soon. Once you plant them in the ground, it really takes one season. So by next spring, I'll really have a nice filled out area right here. Now, I am going to buy one more honeysuckle and put it right here. And then I'm going to fill in the gaps with clematis. So what's really cool about this is that you can also use other climbers in between. So my plan is just to add a pop of color for the springtime. And I believe coral honeysuckle won't mind. So the plan is coral honeysuckle right here, and then I'll have more clematis there. Even though you can see this probably was aphid damage, okay, it doesn't affect it that much, and usually it's not so prone to aphids. I mean, even if it is, it still kind of recovers on its own. I have learned that when plants get aphids, the ladybugs will come in and rescue them. That's their job. And if you have a healthy environment in your yard, then the ladybugs will really do their job. And that is common in the garden. Anytime that you can find a native, go with that one. Coral honeysuckle is native in Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and Texas. Also parts of the mid-Atlantic and even in the Midwest like Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Illinois. Even if you live outside of those areas, it is hardy down to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit, and it can be grown in zone 4. Typically, it dies all the way down, but then in zones 5 through 9, it is a semi-evergreen. Now let's talk about the one you saw in the thumbnail of this video. That one's called Gold Flame Honeysuckle. The biggest difference is that this is a non-native honeysuckle. I love it because it has a lot of the similar properties that the coral honeysuckle has. On the opposite side of the yard, I thought about creating a secret garden with 3 trellises made out of cattle panel. My idea is to add gold flame honeysuckle to anchor the ends, and then in the middle, some sort of vegetable like zucchini or cucumber or anything that can vine. Both of these are full sun to part shade, which gives you plenty of flexibility. But this one is showier. This one is semi-evergreen. So in some areas, the coral honeysuckle will be semi-evergreen, which means it will drop some of its leaves in the wintertime, but there will still be like the vines and some of the leaves will still be there depending on what zone you are. in my zone, which is 8B, 9A. I'm about an hour and a half from Jacksonville, so I'm really like very hot, humid, coastal 8B, almost 9A. Mine's going to be pretty much evergreen. You can see that when this one gets ugly, it'll turn yellow. The leaves will turn yellow, and that's pretty much what happens when you have had some issues. But it's really something you can clean up, and I'm really looking forward to that tunnel vision. One of the main differences between gold flame honeysuckle and coral honeysuckle is that gold flame honeysuckle is a non-native, it is a hybrid, and because of that is a little bit more aggressive and will require a little bit of maintenance. Now, it's not something you can't handle, but it's just something for you to know. This is not an invasive plant. It's a little bit more vigorous and you may have to prune it from time to time, but it's not going to take over your yard or anything like that. If you live in a colder zone still, like maybe zone 3, you could contemplate one called Dropmore Scarlet Honeysuckle. It can withstand colds down to -40 degrees Fahrenheit. It is also a hybrid and it is designed to withstand more cold, but it is vigorous as well. Are you familiar with these honeysuckles? Let me know in the comments below what you think about these and which one you love the most. If you're interested in more ideas for privacy, I do have a couple more videos that will give you that. There's the Eagleston Hollies video that was super popular. Everybody loved it because it's 2-story high privacy. And then I have another video that I will link in the description below as well that will help you to get to your goals. There's so much more you can add. There's some elements of whimsy and some fun and some quirkiness and some privacy and some gathering spots that you can always create for yourself so that you have a beautiful, wonderful space. Because remember, I always say you can create bliss at home and in your life. I'll talk to you later.